I don't think I was ever taught how to desire. I
Mm.
was taught how to prioritize survival, responsibility, other people's needs, but like a desire was like optional.
6Ks in a mic, we're done being quiet, breaking all the rules, starting up a riot. Raw and real, no scripts to read. This is the honesty that women need.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to 6Ks and a Mic. This is our fourth episode, and this week we're talking about New Year's resolutions and or goals, whatever you want to call it. Um, so what's everybody's take on them? Are you like sort of yay or nay when it comes to New Year's resolutions or goals? How do you approach it? What does everybody do? So sit back, relax, and enjoy the talk. Anybody want to kick us off with where New Year's resolutions, yay or nay?
Nay.
They're not realistic.
Tell us more.
I just think it's something people do. And it's always the same thing for people. Oh, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to save money, or I'm going to do this. I don't see it as like goal that you set for yourself. It's just something you kind of do because it's New Year's.
I was just trying to think about this today and like why. I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, I've just never thought about it. Like setting personal goals. I get annoyed doing work reviews when I have to set goals at work. And I don't know. I think it's stupid. But then I was thinking about it today and I'm like, honestly, I just think like my goal today was to put away the laundry basket that's been sitting in my room for about 3 weeks. Like, I don't have reserves for big, lofty goals right now. So I don't know if that's my opposition to it, but I don't do it. If I get through the day, like, showered, kids are alive, we all sort of still like each other, we're winning.
See, I feel like that's part of the problem with resolutions too, is we make these big, big resolutions that sometimes need to be broken down into a lot smaller parts, and then we need to recognize the wins. And I am so guilty of this. I mean, like an all or nothing person, and I tend to forget that a little bit of something is something. And I am just like Katie. I find that curious. When I had to write goals for work as well, it was like I had a mental block and could not come up with what I was supposed to put on the paper. And my husband would be like, "What is so hard about this for you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but it's just so difficult for me." And I need to explore that because I don't know why.
It's
It is
interesting.
interesting to listen to because my observation is we have a lot of rules that we've put into individual, right? About what they're supposed to be. And there are no rules. This is a personal thing for you. You could do it any way you want to do it. But like Katie doesn't feel like it's meaningful enough what she did today.
I
Well,
would
says
agree.
who?
Yes. Yes. I would, yeah.
Maybe this week that's going to be the best damn thing you've done all week.
There's a good chance.
But you should feel good about that.
I view it as like expected chores of life or expected, like, I don't know, like it's the expectation. Like my goal is just how it should be, which so in my mind, like that shouldn't be a goal. It just should like, you know, I should put away my clothes baskets.
But Kate, given the point you're at in life right now with 2 young kids and running around here and there and working full time, and I mean, give yourself a break. That is a lot to have to manage, and folding laundry is not your number one priority. So,
Well, and I think that's why I recognize that, which is why I'm like, I don't have wherewithal for big goals. Like I said, like if we're all breathing, we're all like, that's, And I don't know. I feel like since my breast cancer diagnosis, my goal is just like quality time with the people that I love. And like that's, like I don't know. I feel like
That's a great goal.
Yeah,
it
It
is.
is a great
100%.
But
goal.
like, yeah, like I feel like all the other things don't matter as much now, like the new house, the whatever. Like, sure, some things would be great, but at the end of the day, like you're not taking that with you to the ground. So does it really matter?
So maybe you've learned through your breast cancer diagnosis to shift from external goals to internal.
Maybe.
Yeah. So you guys want to hear this really? And so I'll share what I learned about myself today. Okay. Because I was really intrigued that when so for the viewers out there, we got together last night and just talked a little bit about what we wanted to share and what we wanted to do. Kim and Carrie shared from their iPhones that they had created a list of goals for 2025, and they were sharing that with us and going through them. And when I got off the call, I was like, I don't do that. Why don't I do that? Why don't I set goals? Why don't I set resolutions? So, being who I am and where I am in my life, I turned to little AI assistants and I just said, why would give me some feedback and perspective on why would someone not set resolutions or goals? Okay. And of course, it gave me this big long thing. And the one that really seemed to resonate with me was that I don't think I was ever taught how to desire. I was taught how to prioritize survival, responsibility, other people's needs. But like a desire was like optional. And I guess my question to you for Kim and Carrie, who have these big long list of goals, which I so admired, um, do you find it easier for yourself when someone asks you, "What do I desire?" Are you able to say what it is that you want? Because I even struggle with that sometimes. When someone says to me, "What do you want?" I sometimes genuinely don't know. So I'm curious for you two who had that list.
Well, first of all, there's only like 7 things on the list, so I wouldn't call mine really, really long.
So I feel like you should share with our listeners slash viewers what some of your goals were, if you're open to that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Um, I wanted to travel more, so I wanted to actually plan trips. My part of my issue is I don't think I'm very planful. I think I try to do things, I think, "Ooh, I want to do that." And then I try to do it and it's really hard or it doesn't go the way I want. I want to do more things with my husband, kind of create date nights cuz we're getting in a funk and this time of the year is the worst. Where
Hmm.
we just sit at home
Hmm.
and I hate that every single night, right? So I wanted to do that and I wanted to spend time with him. I wanted to volunteer somewhere because I felt like I had been home and I'd been retired and I was maybe not giving back in the capacity that I could. Then I said either be more active with real estate or get a job because I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be just from a financial standpoint and I need to budget. So when I look back on the things, right, I did quite a few of them, but I also didn't touch, there were some I didn't touch at all, right? Um, I wouldn't say these are all things that I want, right? I think they're things that I either need or, I don't know, should be doing, right? To be either mentally healthier or physically healthier or.
I created an awareness in myself of why I never created goals. And I could tie it back to the word desire for myself and understanding that throughout my life growing up, I was really in survival mode versus desire mode. And now I'm learning at, my age that I can do things differently and I can learn what desires are versus being so good at taking care of everything else. That's what I've learned out of this whole entire thing. So I feel like I actually empowered myself by having an awareness of, because I did. I hung up that thing yesterday. I was like, okay, this is one of my things. Okay, this is one of Chris's things. Um, what is wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me? Like, why don't I set goals? Why don't I have a list of goals?
Is that how you say it to yourself, though? Like, why is it automatically what is wrong with me instead of like, this is just not my thing? Like,
Do the exact same thing, Chris.
Yeah, it's some kind of
Yeah.
pattern.
Uh-huh.
Can I share an observation, right? When you were here, you set a goal. You said, we want to be home within the next year.
Absolutely.
That was a
Yes,
very clear, very time-bound goal. That was a goal.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So you do
And
it.
well, I guess my awareness is, and this is a whole other conversation, that going into 2026, I am learning to um be aware of me and not things around me. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I came back to, and I think it was through the death of Deb's brother, is that I came back to, can continue to live your life for um, others' dreams and desires and goals, or you can take a step back through a loss and realizing that we're all living in mortality motivation, and be willing to say, okay, wait a minute, what do I want? So I'm kind of in that transition, if that makes sense. But I appreciate you saying that, because that does give me like, oh, like, you're getting there. You're getting there. Like, you're
Yeah,
shifting
for
it up.
sure. For sure.
No, it just sounds like you have a lot of judgment around yourself when it comes to goals or how you may approach them. And I guess I would just say, like, I think somebody said it, I don't, Kim, maybe it was you, but it's very personal. So the way I do it or what works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for anybody else. I guess that's how I look at it too.
Like, I think I was just impressed that, like,
I think it's so funny that it's so impressive that I have goals. I don't know if that's like, if I should feel insulted or not, but
You should
um,
absolutely not feel insulted.
um,
Really like how you described it, Carrie, when we were talking about it, because I think that's how I think about it too, is I don't want to be the same person every day. I want to be a better or different or growing person. It's just a mode I've always been in. I don't want to stop growing because I feel like it's just not a good place for me to be.
yeah, I feel very strongly about that. Go ahead.
and you feel like goals help you not to do that.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
And it could
I,
be our corporate, brainwashing. I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean,
But
it could be that too, but it's like, I feel like to me, it's important to like constantly be evolving as a person. And so
yeah.
I don't like stagnancy. And I think I've recognized that maybe in the past I could get comfortable and I was okay with that, and I don't like that anymore. And that for me, I think I feel like I'm a better person and I'm happier and when I'm like constantly sort of evolving and it doesn't have to be this big old thing, right? But um I don't know, it just kind of gives me something to look forward to or like a new I don't know how to explain it.
do you reference your goals throughout the year? Like after you've written them down, do you ever go back and look at them, or is it just like
Yeah.
I write this down
I
and
make
then
them circle so I could check them
Yeah, no,
when
I
I do them.
definitely reference them. And listen, I think too, I've had a goal for multiple years now to write a book and I haven't done it, but I'm still going to do it. Like it's still a goal. I still want to do it. I just know that like going back to I think we had this discussion about um getting down on yourself if you don't achieve something or if you set a goal and it doesn't happen. Like, I don't believe in that
Mhm.
either. Cause I think, like, all right, it just, it's not too late. It's still there and I can still keep it
When
there.
progress counts, right? It might
You're
be a little
yeah.
step. Like Kelly said, it might be a small piece of a bigger thing, but progress counts. I count things all the time. Well, that counts. Check.
Yeah. And it's, like, motivating. I don't know. So,
Yeah.
for me, I can't like, there's just and again, I think this is a personal thing, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with anybody if it's not for you, but, like, I like to go back and say, "Oh, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. Hey, I wanted" and it's just, like, I don't know. It's motivating for me.
Can I throw something out that I was just wondering about because you hear a lot about vision boards and the word manifest is really big right now. Um, so I was thinking back to when I was doing a little side hustle and we had to create vision boards. And I put on there that one day I'm going to fly in a private jet. And what made me put that on there, God only knows. But darn it, if within the next year I hadn't flown on a private jet. And to this day, I'm like, how the heck did that happen? So you got goals that you're setting, and I don't know if flying on a private jet is a goal, but it's definitely something I thought would be really cool in life.
Well, and I am curious if you guys feel like commenting on it is, like I do. I think this is very real for me of mortality motivation of, I have more time behind me than I do ahead of me. And I just wondered, like, for the three of you guys who have dealt with cancer, like, how has that shifted things for you, or has that had any impact on it, or is
Yeah.
it making any different?
I mean, I think so. For me, I think it was this I listen, there's nothing like a little cancer to, shake you into, "Okay, what do I want out of my life?" Um, so for me, it was like, "Hey, life is short, you don't know what's gonna happen." Obviously, I lost my first husband unexpectedly, so that is, that's a realization of like, okay, anything can happen. And then getting sick myself, I think it was like, wow, you've got this like finite amount of time to do what you want to do. How do you make that? It's so easy to get stuck in the day to day. And I think that's the thing. Like, it's so easy to do the same thing day in and day out. And before you know it, like 5 years has passed and it's like crap.
Huh? Yeah.
So for me, I think that was the biggest thing is like, all right, I don't want to be laying on my deathbed thinking about the things that I didn't do because I either just, didn't carve out the time or I didn't think I could or any of that kind of stuff. So yes, I think for me it was definitely um maybe enhanced that desire to like, all right, time is not promised, so what is it that I want? What life do I want to create for myself while I'm here?
Do you have anything to add to that, or
I'm looking at Kathy. I was gonna let her go first.
I don't think I really see anything different. I just go through my day by day life.
okay?
Didn't really change anything.
And what about like you with goals, and do you create those? Do you believe in those? Do
Mm,
you
not really.
That's not true. Your goal was get your nursing degree.
Eh,
That was a big deal.
See, I'm like Kathy. Like, I just don't like view that as a goal. I don't know.
maybe I'm just weird and I just feel like it is what it is. I don't know.
I mean, I suppose in a theoretical sense, it is all goal setting, but in my head, I just don't think of it that way. Like, if I want to do something, like, I don't know, pre cancer, like, I was thinking about going back to school to get my master's to see if I could, eventually move up and if my current role, if it develops more, have some type of leadership role in there. But honestly, since cancer, I'm like, I don't want to. I don't even want to go to work as much as I'm going to work now. Like, I don't. Like, work is not where it's at. That's for sure. I don't know. So then, like, listening to you, like, and that's why I think I struggle with work goals when we have annual reviews. Why do I have to have a goal? Why isn't showing up every day and doing a good job in my role enough to like? Why do I have to always want to, you know?
well, so I'm curious. like, Carrie, you said the word, "I don't wanna get too comfortable." And when you
Mhm.
said that, I was like, "Oh, I'm curious about that." Like, what's too comfortable for you versus what Katie was saying, "Why can't I just show up and just be what I need to be?" Like, I was
Well,
curious.
I think Katie and I, our priorities are probably a little bit different because she has kids. So I could see
Mhm.
why you would want to prioritize spending time with your family. Like that makes sense to me. And to me, that is a goal. Like that's someone saying, listen, I realize that my priority is to like have as much time with those people that I love as I can, which makes a lot of sense. Um, but I don't for me, I just it's important to, like, constantly evolve and learn and just do I just wanna get the most and soak up I don't know, I'm like a sponge, like, I like it. It's interesting to me. It's learning about different people, different things, and just I just find that, um, fascinating, motivating, interesting. I always have. I've always liked to, like, just I don't know, I've always talked to people and just like to hear about different things and so for me, I just I like comfort and my I think sometimes I can get too comfortable and to me that becomes a hindrance to maybe doing the things that I would like to do or that I aspire to do or execute on at some point in my life.
I was just saying, I go back to, what we said earlier. I think these are so personal. And it's very hard to say, I do it this way and this is the way to do it, or you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it so matters where you are in life and where, I mean, Chris, I've got far less time ahead of me than behind me, too. I just don't think everybody here is in that position, right? So they're probably not thinking about it the same way we are. And so it's difficult to, I don't know, do what others do, right? Or try to do what others do because it just may not work at all for you, right? If you're happy in what you do every day and you feel fulfilled and at the end of the
Yeah.
day you feel great, you can be comfortable, go to bed, wake up and be happy, that's a great thing,
Sure. Sure.
right?
Chris, I will say it's interesting when you were originally talking about like other people's desires and what you really want because I still feel like and I'm working on this in therapy, but like I know that life was a lot less stressful when I like wasn't working as much, when things were at a slower pace. Like one of my goals was to make me a priority and like get in my 30 minutes, to decrease your recurrence risk of cancer, your 30 minutes of physical activity every day. And then I went back to work and that all kind of went out the wayside. Like, and I don't know. I still haven't figured it out. Like, because I just feel this obligation to work and activities. Sorry, now my dog's being annoying. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know why it's so hard for me to make that leap and put like me as the priority.
Well, and I think though you have to work through that responsibility piece, whether it was responsibility that you inherently took on, whether it was a responsibility that you agreed to or wherever that responsibility came from, it's not like you have to just work through that piece that says, "You know what? Okay, I may have made agreements in the past that I was going to be that responsible, but today, given my life circumstance of I am surviving stage 3 breast cancer. I am going to change that now to blah, blah, blah. And I think it's a constant um, dialogue with yourself because it's so, so ingrained to be responsible. I mean, honey, we were all taught. I mean, I know you guys came way after we did, but I still think there is this thread that runs in our family of responsibility.
I say like it it elicits a physical response in me to think about like I would rather sacrifice me than like, let someone down at work or have someone else have to pick up my caseload, or like something like that. Like it literally makes me uncomfortable inside.
Yes, and that's what you have to unwind before you're gonna be able to step into the but, I guess what I'm learning through this whole conversation is that, there is no right way.
There's
No.
no one way.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. Should you have goals? Should you not have goals? Should you have resolutions?
What do you guys think the difference is between a goal and a resolution?
I think a goal gets more specific. Some resolutions are big and lofty, like I'm going to lose weight. Well, that's not specific.
Well, to your point, I think resolutions, like, start with a behavior. I think goals look at the end result. So I think one's a behavior and one's I don't wanna say task, but I think it's different. That would be my answer. What's the answer?
I don't think there is a right answer. Yeah. I think that the answer is there is no answer. I don't know that there is a right answer. Again, like it's just something I do. I don't know. Um, I just like it. I like it. I do like a good to-do list too, though. Crossing that bad boy off, that there's something I get off of that. I don't know what it is, but I'm hearing a lot of, even though you don't think you set goals, maybe you do set goals. It's just maybe you're judging the way in which you go about the goal setting, that it's not necessarily like, what we would traditionally think of when it comes to setting goals. Because like our brain's wired to do the same thing and find like the most comfortable way.
Right.
Like we don't want change.
Well, to your point, Kim, something else that I've thought about is that, you know, well, so here, often when you have goals and you have resolutions, well, then how do you measure your success? Well, you did it or you didn't do it. Well, maybe for me, it's not about whether I completed it, but it's like, how did it engage me and how did I grow and what did I learn? And, so I guess
Was
I'm
it
just,
the right goal?
yeah,
Was it gonna really give me what I wanted?
yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe shifting away from that, completion versus, what else could it have done for me?
Well, even like fitness. Yeah, but even like so my goal was to get my fitness certification. So I did that. But let me tell you something. I might enjoy exercising on my own. Like I love it. I like but I don't know that I like telling other people what to do. Because I'm just saying it's very different. Like it's very, very different. No, but I don't know. I do. I think it's like I don't know. It goes back to it just being personal. I don't think there's like a right or wrong. I think it's like to Kim's point. Are you happy? If you're not happy, maybe it's time to set some goals or see about like what you want out of life. What's not making you happy. I guess that's just how I look at it.
Well, and I guess the way I think about things too is don't, you know, short of some situation that you have absolutely no control over, right? You have control over a lot of things. So if you don't like where you're at the moment, find a way to get out, right? Set some goals or manifest a different outcome,
For
you
sure.
know?
For sure.
Yeah. Well, and something else that came up that Kim, I think you mentioned is like couple goals, right? That does anybody have couple goals?
I don't even have my own goals yet. Well, I do. I do have some. I recognize that I do have some.
That
So,
is such BS because
yeah,
you and Deb together decided you were moving back within a year. So you have a couple goals.
that is true. That is a couple goal. You're right.
I feel like looking at Chris's face, for me, a goal is something that like I back to that word desire. Like, yes, desire like for myself. And so, my to-do list and stuff, sure, you could say it's a goal, but like that's not what I desire. It's just what needs to be done.
And I think that even kind of takes me back to this whole discussion of what we're talking about today for myself is what I recognize is that for me, and again, like you said, we're all different. But for me, what I realize is that I now use the word directions. My direction needs to be tied to a desire of mine. And that's what I'm kind of working through in my life right now is, um, and with Deb, of course, is what are our desires? What is my desire? Um, so I think this was great for me to have to look at choose to look at this and go, and thank you to Kim and Carrie for taking out your list and being inspiring and like me being like, well, what the shit? I don't have a list. Why not? Um, because then it got me to a deeper understanding of what it was for me and what I want to achieve going forward. So I think I feel better now knowing, oh, well, if you can determine your desire, then you can absolutely apply that to a direction. So for me, that's what goal setting and resolutions have become for 2026.
So relating it back to your move, your desire was to spend the time of whatever time you have left in life closer to your family with your, loved ones, whatnot. And so that was your desire. So your goal is to move back to
Yes.
Cleveland.
Chris, that maybe you could tell the audience that you moved away, like that you don't live close to family?
Yes. Deb and I have been away for 20 years. Uh, and again, with the death of her brother, um, it just puts life in a different perspective because it was unexpected. Um, and he was young. Um, and and it's a sibling. And I have always felt um kind of not sad because I just feel sad that in our relationship Deb experienced losing a father first and then she experienced losing a sibling. And I would never have wanted that for her, but she did. And she said I'm just telling you, it changes you. It's different than a parent. It's different than anything that you'll ever know. And I think from that experience, we both realized that, you know, in our core family, and this is what I told her the other day when we were walking, is that we came into this world together and I'm going out in this world together. So that's part of I want to be closer home. And absolutely. So, um, and I'll tell you this too, when we moved away 20 some years ago, um, I was obviously 20 years younger and I didn't think about people dying. It wasn't there. And as
Mm.
you get older, and as life keeps going on, and even before that, I mean, oh my gosh, like even having to think about the mortality of my 3 sisters right here. That's scary as shit. Um, and it just really made me prioritize, um, where I wanna be, where I wanna spend my time, and who I wanna be with, and who I wanna be by. So,
All the crazies.
yes, yes. Well, we came into this world together, we go out of this world together in whatever way that's gonna look like.
But I think
So,
that right
yeah,
there is a goal, right? It's just maybe the way in which you look at it is not maybe the way you traditionally thought about goals.
absolutely, for sure,
It's like you didn't
for
have to
sure.
like write it on your phone, you know? So,
No, I got to feel it and experience it and, go through the life of it and get the wisdom of it. And yes, to your point, absolutely. So, so maybe we
yeah.
can wrap up by everybody talking about what maybe you've learned about your goals or resolutions or what you're looking forward to in 2026 or what you've learned out of this experience and share.
It's okay to dream and make that part of your goals.
Yeah. Heck yeah. If we're not dreaming, what are we doing?
I know. For reals.
Yeah,
No
for
one
sure.
no one talked about the podcast as a goal.
Well, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, but like it is cool. Like we made it happen. We talked about it, right?
Yes.
We talked about it. And I mean, listen, Kelly, Chris, you guys were very like you really pushed our butts to like, and sometimes you need that. I think that's the other thing too. Like sometimes you need a little butt pusher in the corner. Like, scooching
Somebody
you
in your
along.
corner. Absolutely.
100%.
Football and the Eagles and their tush push. Like you need the tush.
Yes. Tush push. I like that. So sometimes you need a
Exactly.
little tush push. I mean, I even
And-
think about like personal or professional goals that I've had. And a lot of times when I've really, gone for those professional goals, it's like you had a little someone in your corner giving you that push of like, hey, you could do this. So I guess my takeaway is that it is personal. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do goals. I think it's like what brings you joy. If it makes you happy, go with it. If it doesn't, leave it alone. I don't think there's wrong if somebody doesn't do it. It's just like what works for me. And I'm very flexible with them. Like I think it's important to not place like a lot of judgment or expectation. It's like, but it's a happy medium because you can also use that as an excuse. But sometimes I think it's like, as long as you're taking those baby steps or inching towards it, that's better than nothing.
You could be staying in bed at 5:30.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Kathy, we give you plenty of time to think about what you want to say.
What am I supposed to talk about?
Tune in Tokyo.
What did you learn about resolutions, goals, yourself?
That I still don't really. I mean, I really don't do
Identify with
resolutions.
that concept?
No. Goals here and there, but nothing. I guess I just don't view my goals as goals. I'm just doing me.
What did you learn about yourself today through this conversation?
You guys do an awful lot of thinking.
You learned about you. That's what you learned about us.
Right. Good answer, Katie.
Well, I must not be doing a lot of thinking because you guys are doing an awful lot of thinking. I guess it just doesn't really faze me.
Do you have a dream though, Kath?
Not really.
Or something out there that you shoot for?
No.
Like you
You've
guys
talked
have
about
been-
moving.
right. I would say you've talked about like looking
Well,
for a new.
I've been looking
Sister-
for a house for 3 effing years, so
Well, but still,
I don't know
are
as
you-
though that's much of a goal because, my timeline is like indefinite these days. I just do life.
All right, who wants to wrap us up? Okay, Kimmy.
So we've shared a little bit with you today about how we might think about jumping into 2026, or we might not think about jumping into 2026 by setting goals or resolutions. And we hope you found it interesting and maybe some of it resonated with you, and maybe you can align with one or more of us in terms of how you think about it. But regardless, we're all going to start 2026. Actually, we already have. So we ought to maybe just a little bit think about where we want to be at the end of it.
I just do life.
if I get through the day like showered, kids are alive, we all sort of still like each other, we're winning.
There is no right way.
Thanks for hanging with the sisters. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the love, because every story sounds better on 6Ks and a mic.